Welcome back to Land of the Random and Home in the University. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel as we are still on the conquest to get to 10K. Definitely got to get those numbers up. Doing my best to get to 10K by the end of the year. If I don't, then no mas. Well, anyway, we're back to talking about my favorite stuff here on the platform. Weird things, oddities, especially considering the world that we're in today, considering all about the sex dolls or the sex bots and the fact that people can't hook up and the loneliness epidemic that's taking place here in America and all over the world now, because apparently dudes can't clap cheeks no matter what continent they go to. Either that or they're just going to have to pay for them. And then that's a subject for another day. Well, anyway, today we're talking about love don't judge. And that's the cute part about what I was talking about a few seconds ago. In a world where people aren't hooking up, aren't smashing, aren't clapping, we have people still hooking up out there. And these are some strange looking relationships. And that is the whole purpose of this entire channel, is to show you these ridiculous things. Well, anyway, we're going to go ahead and dive right to it.
Here, she fell in love with Rob.
Clowns and trolls judge me because we're in a height different relationship.
I'm really getting sick of all the different types of categories that exist out here in the world. Why do we have to have so many different labels for so many different things? Some things are pretty concrete. Why does this have to be a height different relationship? Everything has to be some type of specific relationship to make them feel special.
Rob didn't tell me his height before we met.
Commenters on their TikTok question Zakia's intentions.
I think he gave me like $1,000 when he first met me.
Okay, so he immediately started off lying and he immediately started off tricking. Now, obviously, I don't blame him for not wanting to display his height right from the get-go because he's got some obvious shortcomings. No pun intended. But just saying, like, he obviously has some things that he would like to hide. I mean, including himself possibly. But anyway, I have seen this head on a taller person before. I don't know. Like, I could see how she got tricked in this situation to think he might be a taller dude. I've seen a person who looks just like him, and I'm pretty sure he was like 6'3" or 6'4".
She's a gold digger. She wants to be famous. To people that judge our relationships, y'all can straight up.
What?
Like, I'm curious, did they mess up the caption there? Like, it just said, you can, that was it. All you can, D. All you can, dick. I mean, I don't really understand what he's trying to say there.
I have never dated anyone shorter than me before.
Yeah, I'm 4'5". Every girl I've dated always been taller than me.
Now, I get where some people might say, duh, all women are taller than you. That is not the case. Remember, there are other people just like him. Sometimes you would think that he would be seeking out, more people from his community, more women from that department, but he's probably not attracted to them clearly, as they are usually not built like the brick house that he's with right now, though she might have some different types of, personality traits that I might not find the most endearing that will reveal themselves here later. But, he wasn't going to date one of his kind.
And always been beautiful, so
No, they haven't.
you don't gotta do all that.
Now, look. Everybody's a 10 to somebody. So obviously the women that he was with, he was like, look, if they're willing to give me the opportunity to let me have the chance to smash, they're 10 to me. They all bad, even though they might literally look like a dump truck. I mean, they could look really bad.
So we met on Facebook.
That would make sense. I could see how that would lead to this relationship happening.
I was in the trenches. I seen her. She was beautiful.
Rob was in my DMs and tried to shoot his shot.
I slid in there and I struck.
He was in my inbox, right? He didn't have a profile picture and he kept like pushing the narrative. Rob didn't tell me his height before we met.
So this dude, like a straight up creepo, decided he was going to slide into these DMs with no profile picture. He just decided to say, hey, what's up, from a ghost picture. Literally the outline of one of those like cartoon humans that they have on there. I guess that's what he showed up with, or was it just a black screen? And she responded back. This speaks very lowly on her to be like, yeah, I'm going to really entertain this. I'm going to say lowly, but it does make me question her judgment quite a bit.
Later, I gave him a chance. He asked me a question like, what did I like? Like, I like money.
As soon as he passed over the cash, he had access. Maybe not all the way to the panties, but he had access into at least a relationship. She was at least going to hear him out and be like, hey, I can definitely take a sugar daddy and do what I want on the side, because she is definitely going to be trying to finesse homie. Also, the thing that I find interesting in like relationships like this or shows like Catfish is, where do these people get all this money to be tricking off like this? Usually with those catfish scams, people be just forking up 30 to 40 to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, y'all just got this money sitting around? Y'all just giving up your whole checks, whole retirements, 401ks, all of that money? I mean, damn. I mean, look, I know people can be down on their luck, and I know they can be repressed to the point where you really start thinking maybe I should just go ahead and get a sex bot. Well, instead of like getting scammed out of hundreds of thousands of dollars, like this is completely away from the point of this video, but instead of getting scammed out of hundreds of thousands of dollars, you might as well go ahead and buy you one of those AI robots. I'd rather you do that than get scammed from some Nigerian out there who's just doing who knows what over there while he's just laughing at those text messages that he's sending you.
When she came back in, she was like, girl, go out there and see him. I'm like, what is it? She's like, it's this short guy in this big suburban truck.
I bet when her friend came back, she was just like, no. And oh man, I bet she was sitting there like, cut it. Hell no.
So he did have a lot of money at the time. I think he gave me like $1,000 when he first met me. And we've been together ever since then.
So homie here literally rolled up like a pimp named Slickback and just handed her $1,000 and she was bought. Just like that. Easy money.
I mean, nah, it won't love at first sight. It won't love at first sight.
Because he didn't tell me his height still. Like, the height still was like a shocker.
When did y'all realize you fell in love with each other?
Oh yeah, I bet it was a shocker. But she's like, oh, you know, but I really like the sight of green. She says she loves money. She already stated that earlier. I like money. So that's where they're at now. He handed her money and she's like, I'm going to stick around for now. And I guarantee, I mean, homie needs to be on high alert. And I guarantee you he is. But there's going to be things that show later here that make me feel like this guy might not be,
you know, make sure I trusted him with my daughter.
I always knew I was attracted to her. She was beautiful. You know I'm short, man. Go ahead, give me some water. Can I get some water?
it just felt like that was really painful for her to hear. And like, I don't know, something was off with that.
You know I'm short, man. Go ahead, give me some water. Can I get some water?
Something didn't feel right.
Thirsty.
So we've been together for 6 years.
6 long years.
We've had our ups and downs. Our relationships are not perfect.
Neither is anybody's relationships. Also, I just realized, I bet she has to get this man a lot of glasses of water. It didn't look like they had a step stool in there, which, I mean, that would need to be a very, like, an essential household item for him. Because, I mean, hell, this guy's got to get to the freezer at some point in time. Like, he has to have one of those units that's like side to side door, because, I mean, he's obviously not tall enough to reach the top. And like, if he had to get to the back and get the ice cream, like, it's not happening. So, I mean, they need to have them some type of step stool. I mean, they need to have something to aid him either way. That way she doesn't have to sit around and get this guy water all the time. And is that how he served water? Just straight out of the sink? Just warm room temperature? Like, I mean, I don't mind room temperature water, but if I'm at the house, like, let's put some ice in it.
But we definitely had like some rough stages.
She love me, I love her. And to all y'all haters out there, stop hating on us. We love each other.
I guarantee you, not for 1 second does anybody believe they're actually in love. He might be in love because he's paying and leading with his wallet. And obviously he might be getting some play on the side. So he's probably falling in love. He's falling into the trap, so to speak. Now he goes on to explain, like, if you ever looked at his hands throughout the beginning of this, he's got like, they're like real swollen and stuff like that. You can tell he's got like some real deformities. He's got a joint disorder, which is also why he's so short. So he doesn't have like normal hands to go along with his height. So, but the thing is, for the most part, they obviously are very functional. He can get by and do some stuff, use a phone, etc. like that. But I also noticed, looking at them hands, some things are kind of large. It looks like with that joint disorder, it looks like he has some really large and like thick fingers. I'm just saying he might, he might be able to satisfy.
Yeah, I know that's gonna look good on you, bro. But babe, since I'm wearing black, you should wear black. Just wear regular clothes. Like, I don't have to get nothing altered or anything. I go to the store and I shop till I drop, and I ball till I fall.
At his height and size, I bet he could ball until he falls. He doesn't have to pay the premium price that adults do. Now he does get some, it looks like he tried to get some very, high priced items, get some nice Gucci and designer wear with all the chains and jewelry, but I mean, honestly, how real does that stuff have to be? Just don't, wear it so long that your skin turns green. He could wear some phony, chains and whatnot if he really wants to. Like, homie, I don't see what you're trying to prove out here. I can still see that he's carrying himself like he's still on the old block. Like, he's still out there slinging on the corner. Like, he's still out there trying to prove himself. Which, I mean, obviously, it's an entire lifestyle. It's a mentality that develops in some folks. But, like, he can let this go. It looks like he's escaped the hood. They don't seem to be in rough times here. I think they're doing pretty well. Unless, you know, they got put up on this, you know, be Airbnb by themselves by the show, which I don't think the show is like, you know, making money like that to where they're just setting people up like that. So look, I'm just saying, I don't think he has to, you know, act this hard.
I go in the store and I tear that down straight up. I do everything that the next man could, probably better.
That's right. He can go broke, get scammed, and buy women better than the rest of us. I mean, just, hey, man, we all can do the same stuff. He just is better at it. But I will say, this is the point in time in this video where things take a quick, drastic turn. At least pay attention to what she says.
I've been seeing like a lot of different couples on social media with like a disability or a different height in relationship. So I'm like, one day I'm like, let me just record or whatever. And when I put it on there, he didn't like it at first or whatever. But I'm like, oh, they really feel enough on here. Let me just make a couple more. And so that's basically how TikTok came about.
Funny that I mentioned that he can get scammed, conned, and jacked around just like the rest of us just a few seconds ago. Because right there is the proof. I think she's searching for clout. I think she saw opportunity here. She saw money. Plus, he actually had money. I don't know how much he actually has. I mean, that might have been like his last $1. Hell, he could have took an advanced financial loan for all I know and just decided, hey, I'm going to go out here and trick it off. And then, God, he'd be in ridiculous amounts of debt. But
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm 5'6". You that when you met me.
We experienced a lot of judgment comments like, I went here for his money, he must get a disability check, I don't really love him. They don't.
And I bet about 85% of those comments are correct. I bet most of those people are right about what they're saying. You just ain't going to say it, and you're going to be really good about acting it out. Just like I watched this YouTube video the other day about how there's so many influencers that just lied, especially over there on TikTok. Everybody was living a fake life over there. All the makeup people, all the muscle bound gym influencers, anybody that was out there trying to be a financial bro, they were all scamming you. None of them lived the lives that they actually showed, and half of them were just putting on skits. People were literally building whatever type of stories they could make and lie to you about it. My order just got here. But anyway, people were making up whatever stories they possibly could just so they can make money. Weren't real at all, crying into the cameras, building themselves up for a dramatic moment that was falsified. Pure fiction.
And this is real life.
Man, we just be trying to look for basically like to be a brand. You know, everybody, we just want to be a brand.
And just to show people we be having fun.
I'm like, what do people mean by wanting to be a brand? I know he's not the only person who speaks this lingo. So if you understand it, please leave it in the comments. I don't get wanting to be a brand as a couple. To me, it sounds like they're just doing it for social media clout now. Based on that statement, it sounds like he'd be more willing to entertain this idea, and I was probably wrong beforehand, just like my Candace Owens take from my previous video. Boy, I took L's on that. Ooh, people lit me up in the comments about that. Not like terribly, like people were respectful, but it's just like, you need to see exactly what you mean by that. And it's like, dude, okay, I said I don't watch Candace like that. She's self-hating. Okay, I did make a stupid comment on that, but yeah, she is self-hating. But other than that, like I just said she didn't promote murder. I said she didn't promote murder. Never heard that. Maybe she did. Somebody said she did on some other platform like a while back, but I'm like, I don't know. I need to see that clip. But other than that, despite the point, back to this relationship, I don't understand branding. I really don't. I don't get the point of it. I really don't understand.
Like, just because he's shorter than me, it looks like something that is not. But if he was taller, maybe it wouldn't look like that.
If he was taller, it would just, nobody would question it as much. It just looks like what is your intentions? People look at you and then they look at him and they're wondering like, what's up? What are you using him for? How much money is he paying you? Is he buying you off? Are you a hostage? Who's the hostage? Which one? Somebody being abused here? Somebody can't leave? Doing this against their will? Does this feel like it's a forced relationship like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift?
We don't worry about that. We'll get money and she got a limit. We're not worried about that. People were just basically like, oh, she's a gold digger. She just want me for my money.
Now, I know it's their obligation to defend their relationships in front of their partners here on these shows. But, you know, there's got to be some part deep down where they just know that some of these comments and people are right. Or they at least feel it. I hope they don't like live it and lash it out on one another. But I know there's a part of them that's like, you know what, they are probably right.
They're like we'll compare that relationship online. It's basically like she want a platform. She wants to be famous. So I respect that. Let's get some money.
And I respect him for wanting to abide by his old lady's wishes. But I mean, I feel like this is going to lead to a world of hurt for this man. I feel like it's going to lead to him crying out like Tyrese, becoming a meme. You know what I'm saying? That's the last thing you want out of a relationship, is to become a meme. And especially once it's public. Once it's public, I mean, hell, people, they see this. Once it's on TikTok and it's on YouTube, Instagram, all the social medias, everybody can have their criticisms. And the fact is, they're going to see your crash out live. They're going to see this relationship end. Because, I mean, we all know that this relationship is not going to last. Might last for a while, because if the money gets good, it can definitely stay rolling for a minute. And hopefully nobody's going to start tripping about the money at some point in time. And then the whole relationship dynamics flip up and side down. And then you have the ultimate crash out where the platform dies and then they have epic fallout.
He doesn't want to be on there, and I do, and so that's where the conflict comes in.
As far as all this conflict, I just want some money. I agree. All y'all bad comments, all y'all criticism, I ain't worried about it, because I know for a fact we really love each other. So it is what it is. But really, for real, we really rock. They just want to break us up.
Now that I don't think he's wrong on. Most relationships that people see online, for whatever reason, they want to see them end. Because most people like to see the car crash. Like, they love to see the aftermath. Like, what does this movie look like after, the climax? After the dramatic moment where the shit hits the fan, people want to see what happens afterwards. And in relationships, there's nothing more exciting than seeing what happens after it crashes out. After the breakup, hopefully it's nasty. People love nasty breakups. Those are the best ones out here on the internet. But the point that he made, talking about he doesn't care about what they say in the comments, that's a lie. It's a lie. I think that's the main reason why he doesn't want to be on camera. I mean, it's not like there's other like short people or midgets or whatever that run around and they're on camera and, they don't seem to have an issue with it. I mean, no, I'm not going to say that they all are just walking around here wanting to be on camera. No, that'd be a farce. But I'm just saying, like, I think that's because there is insecurity deep down that, yeah, he doesn't want to see what they got to say in the comments because it'll probably hurt his feelings just like it would do anybody else. But he's, also upholding the tough guy, thug for life, image here. So I get where he has to go hard in the paint and act like, I don't have feelings and I got to be masculine, hold it all in and die at 55. I mean, he might not make it to 55, but I'm just saying, like, that's how it used to be back in the day. Hell, that's what the problem is with most men in general. And that's what it's going to lead back to now. I mean, not to get on too much of a side tangent, but like back in the day, that's how most people, the guys died. Like, actually, the whole thing, like women wanting to do more, is good for guys and it's good for our health overall. Some of us need to realize, like, the whole alpha male, take care of the entire family in the village, mentality usually kills you early. Do you want to live a long, fulfilling life, or do you want to live a short, stressful one? Now, sometimes, I mean, it can go hand in hand where you can still die early and it'd be a really great life. But a lot of these dudes who be out here just, I hold in all my sad feelings and shit like that. Do they die because they have heart attacks later because they're just bugging out and they never let out their emotions? The heart is like, dude, you need to talk to somebody. It's like, no, I can't. I'm a man. And it's like, I'm not saying, go out there and just be bitch made. I'm not going to advocate for the blankets like MTR. But you do need to just like express your feelings. And I think for dudes like this, having that, overly masculine mindset is detrimental. Just admit to shit. If you don't want to see the comments because quite frankly, you don't want to hear what they got to say, just say that.
Yeah, I mean, my grandmother, before she passed, she was against it. She was like, she didn't want me to be with a short person. But
you ain't gotta say all that on the camera.
I'm pretty sure she said the M word just like I did a few seconds ago. So I apologize, homie, if you find that offensive. I won't use it.
I'm not a short person. Same thing.
People don't like that for to use that word though in the world. Like, you don't have to do
a short guy.
Your grandma.
Somebody's short.
Don't worry about her right now. Say something different. But yeah.
Well, that's what it was.
My mama didn't want me to be with you.
That's what I'm saying.
Alright, she didn't want me to be with a slow person.
There's a disconnect in this relationship. I can tell that she doesn't respect him and he doesn't like that. Just because this guy's short doesn't mean he can't take a baseball bat to that woman's knees. I'm just saying, if you ever hear of a domestic situation, don't just assume that she kicked his ass. I'm just saying, I seen them hands and they look like they got a grip on him. I'm just saying, it looks like he could probably do some damage and he don't look like he's one to be F with.
You should go and do your own thing. But at the end of the day, I love her.
When I first brought him around my family, They were shocked. And my friends, they were like, oh my God, he's short. Like, did I know he was short? Like, and I was like, no. It was something I had to get used to, but after a while, I started to love him.
She said that she loved him like she had a knife in her bag. She literally said that like she was being held hostage. She looked like she was being trafficked the way she said that. I don't know. I don't sense love in this relationship. And my thing is with the friends, it's like, so it's really stupid to be like, do y'all really have nothing else better to say? Oh my God, he's short. No shit. Hello, Captain Obvious. Duh. The guy barely gets above the table. I guess, yeah, he's short. Did you have to say it? More than likely, they said it out loud to where he can hear like 8 feet away. Because people don't have whispering skills. Like half these people out here that bother me, they could never cheat on a spelling test, and it pisses me off. Don't talk to me if you don't know how to whisper. There are times where people like to have conversations that are a little bit quieter than others because you're going to say something that you don't want somebody else to hear. Learn those skills. Get better. Most can't. They struggle.
Kill, you know, like I ain't even gonna lie, like she there for me when I need her. You know, if I ain't had her right now, a lot of things that I went through, I don't know what I would have did. We're gonna be together regardless. And to all y'all haters, go get some money.
You know, speaking of that, where does he get his money? This man ain't mentioned a job not one time since we started this. Now, this isn't a very long video, but this guy has never talked about what he actually does. Like, I'm starting to be convinced, like, he is Omar on the streets. Like, this dude is out here slinging some heavy weight. Because, I mean, he's walking around here pretty yoked. Now, I know he shops in the kids section, so, I mean, his clothes aren't that expensive, but some of the other stuff that he wears seems expensive. Seems like his vehicle costs some money. You know, I was just thinking, you know how I went that right there? Why do people so many times when they're speaking into these mics on their platforms to do that? Like, dude, somebody drink some effing water. I get so sick and tired of you guys on your mics, and I can hear all the slurping and smacking sounds. What is wrong with y'all? Get your stuff together. Jesus Christ. Do y'all not have some like microphone etiquette? Does nobody teach you this stuff? No, they don't, because we don't have any classes like that. Maybe we'll teach that here at Random University. Maybe I'll give you a side video on how y'all can stop making such disturbing noises into the microphone. I was listening to somebody's video the other day, and they literally just could not stop. After about 3 minutes, I turned it off. I couldn't do it. Now, I would listen to somebody who's boring. I will listen to somebody who really isn't telling me shit after a while. But when I constantly hear like it sounds like somebody's effing in the room next to me, I'm not gonna do it. Somebody said you can uncensor yourself, homie. I'm sorry. I don't really cuss like that all the time, period. So I do censor myself from moments to moments. Like it happens. But and also my mom watches these videos. I don't want her calling me after the videos. Be like, son, language? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Not that I hear it on a regular anyway, but I don't curse like that. Well, anyway, there's not much left in this video. Actually, no. I want y'all to see this last interaction they had. And this made me feel how I felt about this the whole time.
We really do love each other. Zakia that. Anybody would love to have Zakia.
He be getting money. He always have my back. He a great stepdaddy. My kids love him.
Now, I wanted to point out, like, I actually needed to go back a little bit and find it. When they said that they love each other, when he's like, you know, I love Zakia. Anyway, look at her eyes here.
We really do love each other. Zakia that. Anybody would love to have Zakia.
Look at her eyes. Her face and body language says, awkward. This reeks of awkward. Well, anyway, I just wanted to do this video today. I might do a small series of these, and I'll get better with my commentary with each and every one of them. Boy, I'll get some like consecutive days off here soon, like, and really get the focus back on some videos. I've been trying to do some other stuff. I've been trying to actually watch, you know, some movies. I've been trying to catch up. Sorry guys, I've been behind in life. Well, anyway, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the button, hit the bell. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I know half of this is funny coming from somebody who literally looks like they fell out of Picasso's painting like I did today. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed.
To people that judge our relationships, y'all can straight up.
What?
Man, we gonna be together. We was meant to be together. Y'all can eat it.